The floating pale blue status panel blurred Amy's vision. 1 minute ago, she'd been cooped up in her apartment, pulling an all-nighter playing the open-world fantasy RPG Chronicle of Realms, where she'd just slain the minor villain Baroness Scarlett Hartford. The next second, her soul had transmigrated straight into the Baroness's body. The cruel, conceited noble with abysmal magical talent she'd defeated countless times in-game. Staring into a gilded oval mirror, she saw Scarlett's straight hair, sharp amber eyes, and a cold, exquisite noble's face that did not belong to ordinary editor Amy Bernal. Worse, primal instincts surged through her. Arrogance, haughtiness, and callous disdain, all ingrained traits of the original Scarlett. Her status read plainly, third-rate mana veins, a mere pool of 967 mana, only low-tier pyromancy and hydromancy abilities. In the game, this Baroness was nothing more than a mid-game mob, players crushed with ease. Panic crashed over Amy. The world's calendar was Rastad 1143, August the 3rd, the exact early opening of the game's main storyline. Any player could storm the Hartford Manor at any moment and kill her just as she'd killed Scarlett before. To make matters deadlier, the original Baroness secretly colluded with human traffickers to smuggle child captives from the Kingdom of Vonia, a capital crime punishable by execution. She had to hide her true identity, grow powerful, and erase the original's bloody crimes to survive. Scarlett suppressed Amy's raw terror, forcing her voice into the frigid, dignified drawl of a born noble. She rang a golden bell to summon her maid Molly, who filled her in on current affairs. Her younger sister Eveline had waited hours to discuss last month's domain finance ledgers. Moments later, Eveline stepped into the office. She knew all too well her elder sister's vicious, selfish streak, and immediately confronted Scarlett for revoking the mage stipend for Brook Tower, a vow their late father had sworn to uphold for the Hartford family. By the original Scarlett's nature, she would sneer and fight every word of Eveline's protest. But Amy fought against the cruel instincts raging inside her and yielded calmly. She granted Eveline full authority to restore the mage funding and handed over the entire financial ledger without argument. Eveline left utterly baffled, unable to trust Scarlett's sudden gentleness, convinced her sister plotted some far crueler scheme. The short confrontation drove home a brutal truth. The original's personality lingered like a parasite, warping her emotions at every turn. If she let the noble's arrogance take over, she would lose every shred of Amy's humanity. Once Eveline departed, Scarlett headed for the manor courtyard to test her innate elemental magic. She conjured floating orbs of water that bent to her will and summoned tiny flames above her palm, only to burn her own hand, cooling the wound with manipulated stream water. The fleeting wonder of real magic faded fast into crushing frustration. She combed the library and found only one beginner pyromancy grimoire, filled with unrecognizable runic circuits and jargon she could not decipher. Questioning Molly, who knew basic ignition spells, she learned even simple, offensive magic required years of rigorous study for ordinary mages, trapped with only weak elemental manipulation, a tiny mana reserve, and no formal spell knowledge. She realized raw training would never make her strong fast enough to survive incoming threats. Two paths remained: hire seasoned combat mages as bodyguards, or hunt ancient Zuvarian ruins from the game's lore to seize powerful magical artifacts. That evening, Butler Garside served her dinner and relayed news of a noble banquet hosted by Lady Leslie Hayden. Scarlett rejected the invitation outright, fixing the human trafficking conspiracy and securing protection mattered far more than empty high society trivialities. She ordered a carriage prepared at dawn, bound for Freybrook's Shields Guild to hire skilled pyromancer escorts. As dusk fell, a slimy merchant named Wither arrived to conduct secret business with the Baroness. From their conversation, Scarlett uncovered a horrifying plot. 2 days later, crates of merchandise, abducted Vonian children, would arrive at Warehouse 37 on the harbor. The original Scarlett had promised to abuse her noble authority to falsify warehouse inspections and aid the child smuggling ring. A cold dread washed over her. As a player, she'd only known Scarlett was a corrupt noble. She never imagined the baroness participated in child trafficking. If the scheme unfolded and authorities uncovered evidence linking her to the ring, she would face immediate execution. If she exposed Wither now, records proving the original's cooperation would condemn her all the same. She pretended to agree to cover the warehouse inspection, silently plotting to raid the warehouse that night the children arrived, rescue every captive child, and destroy all proof of the original's crimes. After dismissing Wither, she instructed Garside to bar the merchant from the manor if he ever returned. Over supper, Scarlett finalized her plan: travel to the Shields Guild at first light to hire a high-ranking mage bodyguard, then launch a nighttime raid on the harbor smuggling warehouse. Once the child captives arrived, Scarlett sat alone at her desk, staring at the single unused skill point. She relied solely on her foreknowledge as a former gamer to navigate this deadly fantasy world. Yet three lethal threats loomed simultaneously: the original baroness's unerasable criminal past, unpredictable player protagonists out for her life, and the ruthless child traffickers waiting at the harbor. Her trip to the Shields Guild tomorrow was merely the first step in a brutal fight for survival, and a dangerous warehouse raid awaited her. In just 2 short days,